guys, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day, and if not, I hope I can make it a little better. You know what? I love you guys so much because one of you amazing followers has sent me these equally amazing water-soluble wax pastels. What? Water and wax? That seems crazy. Let's try them out. So first things first, I must say thank you to Rachel, great name, or Race Pond, as she's known on the internet, for donating these to me. She found them via my Amazon wishlist, a link to which is in my description box below, which is a way of supporting the channel whilst I can't make money through advertising. It's a very generous donation. I'm really grateful. If you ever feel like doing it yourself, the link is in the description box below, but never feel like you have to. It's just like a bonus. I do actually, whilst we're on that subject, I hate to self-advertise, but I will. I do also have a Patreon if that's something you're interested in as well. But anyway, let's get on to these pastels. So they're Caran, which are super fancy. Thank you, Rachel. And they're called 15 Swisscolor Aquarelle. Aquarelle? Anybody know? And as it says here, they are water-soluble wax pastels, which I find kind of fascinating because I was always taught that water and wax didn't mix. You know, wax is resistant to water. Let's see if the back has any extra info. So it says water-soluble wax pastels for dry or wet application. 15 bright and intense colours rich in pigment. Economical use, can be applied on most materials and surfaces. Well, only one way to find out really, and that's to open them up. And from what I can tell, this is the case as well as just the cover. So I've got to squeeze the plastic box out. Let's do it. Ooh. Here we go. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. Everything's back in their box. And when I was putting everything back, I had a little touch of them. And they kind of just feel like crayons, really. I'd say they feel more like crayons than they do oil pastels, which I guess makes sense because they're called wax pastels. But I think we might as well just get swatching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do solid colour blocks and then I'm going to get them wet. Okay, so let the swatching commence. Okay, well they go down nicely. Nice and thick and smooth. The next one. They're definitely better than like your average Crayola crayon. They don't feel like an oil pastel, that's for sure. They definitely do feel like a crayon. But like, I guess smoother than a crayon. I know some people say like buttery smooth. I wouldn't say they're like buttery smooth, but like they're definitely much easier to use than your average wax crayon, that's for sure. So I am kind of curious to know what they're going to be like when you water them down. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice colour. So I'm like one of those few people who really likes oil pastels and also likes watercolour pens. So I feel like I should like these. I feel like I'm going to enjoy using them, but we'll see. Famous last words, eh? I really do appreciate how intense the colours are. They are really nice. That is definitely a positive for them. We'll give it a go. Oh, look at that, actually. I don't know if you can see it. That's really nice. That came out really well. Good job, White. Okay, now to do the fun bit. We've got a jar. I'm going to fill it with some water. And we can have a go at water activating them, which is what I'm most excited about. Okay, little mermaid brush, don't let me down. Oh wow, look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is lovely. That is so unexpected. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest. Okay, now with this black one, I'm going to see just how far I can like take the water because I didn't really have space to do. Woo! Oops! Excuse me a moment there. Let's try that again. Okay, so with this black one, I'm going to see just how far I can gradient it because I didn't really have space to do it with these, and I'm really curious to see how light we can get the watercolor. Okay, because it starts up very dark. I feel like I could just keep going with that actually, but I won't. I don't want to invade the grey space like I already have. So let's... I'm just gonna wipe that out a bit because I've invaded the grey space a little bit. But you can get a really great gradient with these. I'm very, very impressed. Okay. And the white. Okay, that's fair. Well, these are so impressive. I didn't expect them to be as vibrant as they are. There is the one drawback that you get with a lot of water-soluble materials that you apply directly onto the paper, that there is sort of like the ring from where it's been applied. But there are other ways that you can use water-soluble materials. Like I've seen people apply water directly onto the material and then go onto the paper. So I don't know, let's try that, shall we? I've never done that before. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay, I think I've got it quite juicy, so let's see. Well, there you go. That's pretty good. It's kind of paler, but then you don't get the streak that way. So if you don't want that sort of circle streak that you can get from directly applying, you can do it that way. What I want to do is I want to have a go at trying some blending dry and then blending wet, and then have a go at some layering as well. Shall we go at doing a gradient? Just do a small gradient because I haven't left myself much space. Do you? We'll just do yellow into orange into red. You. And you. Okay, so as crayons, they're just sort of mostly just want to... Oh wait, no, here we go, something's happening. Okay, you can push them around a little bit. Whoops. Okay, they do blend, Maybe not as smoothly as with other artist materials, but they do blend. But I'm kind of curious to know how well they blend if I just do some blobs like this. Oh, got black in there. If I just do some blobs like this next to each other, I want to see if we can get that same sort of blend with the water. What do you think? Let's take some bets. Okay. Oh. Interesting. I think I messed that up a little bit. Can I recover from this? Okay, so they kind of blend. I think it might be better if you blend them first and then add the water on. Shall we try that? If I blend them like that and then add water, I think that might be their preferred mode. Let's have a look. Ooh, that's an interesting effect. The red is really dominant, and I think it overtakes the other colours a little bit, but it's interesting to see. I think I prefer that if you don't want to get it wet. If I'm going to blend whilst making it wet, I think I prefer blending it dry and then adding water, because adding water to it unblended just sort of made it all a bit muddy. And the final test I want to do, I want to see how well these guys layer. So I've got yellow, red and blue. Do a yellow circle. Do a red circle. Oh, that completely obliterated the yellow, eh? And we'll do a blue circle. They kind of just sit on top of each other, so that's interesting. So like, you can build, they do get a little bit muddy, but take what you will from that one. Oh, the final thing I want to do is I want to see how the white goes over. I want to see how it goes over dried watercolor. This is dried now, so let's see how the white goes over it. Okay, that's all right. Very nice. And I want to see how it goes over when it hasn't been water activated. So let's bring the white through. Oh, that's not so good. So the white works best on the activated crayons. Kind of just smudges everything around when they haven't been activated yet. Oh, I have one more final test. I want to see what happens when I mix the white with another colour. This blue's quite dark, so I don't want to use the blue. Yellow's a bit too yellow. I kind of want to see what happens if I mix it with this aqua colour. I like the look of this aqua colour. So I'm going to put a bit of aqua down. And I'm going to put a bit of the white down. Oh, that's nice. So you can create a lovely colour that way to lighten up them. If you just want to use them as wax crayons, that's a lovely way of making them lighter. And shall we see how it works when you add water to it? Let's see what happens if we add water to it. Oh, that's very nice. So I like that. So by adding white, you basically can create your own like pastel version of all the colours. I have one last experiment I want to try before I start doing some art, which is to see if these show up on these. Black watercolor paper, denim watercolor paper. And if you like the results of how the pastels look on any of these free pieces of paper, I'll list all 3 of them in the description box below, so you can get some for yourself. Here are the 3 final swatches on white watercolor paper, denim mixed media paper and black watercolor paper. And I loved how the colours popped on the black watercolor paper, but once you water them down they kind of disappear, they go a bit ghostly, and they also get a chalky outline. So probably not best to use as watercolors on black paper unless you really want that spooky, eerie feel. They might make a nice light, gentle background tint to your paper. Though I do really like the effect here. It kind of has a nice like watery effect. It could be good for maybe doing reflections. I can see like doing the main picture in the pastels, and then like say if you had a lake, to do the reflections in the watercolor. I think that'd be really nice on the black paper. So this is the denim paper. It is mixed media paper rather than watercolor paper, which means it has a finer tooth. This is what watercolor paper sounds like. This is what mixed media paper sounds like. See, you hear it's got a smoother texture to it. So there's less texture for the crayons to grab onto, so they went on much smoother. They are equally bright on this paper. I love how they like shone bright on whatever colour paper they were when they went on as crayons. They stood up to it quite well as watercolours. They do fade out a little bit, which, you know, I expect that, because like basically when you're adding water to a paint, you're basically thinning it out, so the background colour will always show up. They blended beautifully as crayon form on this paper because it is smoother. It was much harder to activate them as watercolours on this paper. The paper seemed to be a bit greedy when it came to water. It wanted to keep them as crayons rather than paints. So I think if I was going to use them just as crayons, I would use them on any of the papers. If I was going to use them as watercolours, first and foremost, I would use them on the white paper. If I wanted like a bright effect, cheerful, colourful painting, if I wanted something a bit moodier, I think I would use this denim paper, being aware that it's going to require a lot more water to get the same sort of spread and pigment. Black paper, I would mostly use them as crayons, unless I wanted a spooky, eerie, glowing effect. Then I would get the water involved. Saying all of that, I guess I better make some art. So here I am sketching out my design, and as you can see, in the end I went with the denim mixed media paper. I was a little nervous of it being mixed media because I know it means it can't take as much water as watercolour paper, and also that it needed more water to activate the crayons compared to the watercolour paper. However, I know that Rachel loves frogs, so I wanted to do her a frog design, but I thought the grey-blue of the paper would be a perfect background for a lake nature scene. And if you're curious to know what I'm sketching with, it's my favourites. It's the Oxford Helix erasable colouring pencils. Terrible for colouring with, but great for doing coloured sketches. Next up, I'm using washi tape to mask off my main canvas area. I want to use the pastels in their water activated form for the background. It's going to require a lot of water to work with this kind of paper, and I was a little nervous that I might just sort of blob it everywhere, and I really wanted to try and keep the nice crisp lines of the square. Background's dried now and I'm super happy with it, so I can remove the washi tape from everywhere but from the bottom. I want to keep that until the end. I'm pretty happy with how the washi tape acted with the paper and the water. There was a little bit of seepage and a tiny tear on the right of the painting, but apart from that, it's pretty good. I can live with it. No, you're not seeing things. This is me sharpening the crayons using a wide pencil sharpener. The crayons came blunt, which was fine for swatching and sort of doing abstract watercolor painting, but I wanted to use them just as crayons or pastels for the foreground of the image, and I was worried that with the blunt end, I wouldn't be able to get the precision I wanted. It was surprisingly easy to sharpen the crayons, so I recommend it if you need to give your crayons or oil pastels a sharp end. I did feel bad about all the wastage, so you'll see at the end that I've collected them in a jar, and I think, you know what, I might, when I have enough, create a mega blended crayon using all the sharpenings. Is that something you'd like to see? Please let me know in the comment section below. And here's the final picture. Isn't he a cutie? Thank you so much for the pastels, Rachel. I really adore them, and I can't wait to use them on the black and the white paper later on. And you know what? I'm kind of looking forward to making a mysterious rainbow crayon at some point too. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Well, thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. I'd love to know what your favourite part was. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below. If you could like, subscribe, turn on all notifications and share this video, that would be amazing. You can follow me at Enchanted Violin on Instagram, TikTok and Threads. Links will be in the description box below, as well as links to my online comic companions, my Patreon and my Amazon wishlist if you'd like to see a picture like this done for you. I'll see you next time. Bye!